IS2 just dropped for Arknights Global today, and of course I had to check it out on stream, so I wanted to talk about my thoughts and opinions on this one, so let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, I wanted to say that I did go into this rather blind. I didn't watch any videos about it. I didn't really get myself prepared, and I never played the integrated strategies when it first came to Arknights because I wanted to kind of see what was going on. Of course, I wasn't actually in the game at that point when the first one came, but I wanted to go into IS2 blind because I wanted to kind of see what it had to offer from the very beginning. And I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised with the way that it actually did stuff and the way that it has like kind of the story, this different elements to go into roguelike. All I knew really was that it was a roguelike. It had different paths and stuff like that, but I didn't know to what extent that it actually had to offer. So I was really happy to see that the way that they did it. Now, the reason I say that is because it could have just been kind of like, I don't want to say bland, but it definitely could have been just a more bare bones version of roguelike, where they just have a couple different paths, you know, have a couple different animations and stuff like that. But it actually feels very immersive on the way that they did IS2. I never got to play the first one, so I don't know if they did it in a similar way, but just having like kind of the story you're going through, kind of the different paths you're taking actually have some sort of meaning. And chat actually told me that there's like 3 different endings. I did decide to play on easy just because I wanted to see what it had to offer and kind of get a feel for it, because I've never played anything like this in Arknights, but I do plan on doing normal and hard eventually when I get a little bit more comfortable with it. But I think the easy allowed me to kind of go through it, kind of get an idea of some of the different paths, what they mean, how the currencies work, and ultimately how to build up my teams and kind of what that looks like. Now, one thing, talking about teams real quick, I did find a little, I guess you want to call it a sneak away or something like that. Basically, if you are in a recruit voucher and you're kind of looking at somebody, say for example, in my case, I had Phantom and he was E1 level 1. I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to choose him because he's not quite leveled up as much as I'd like to. You can actually go back to the main screen, go into operators and level him up from there, then go back to your recruit voucher and be able to pick him at the new level. So for what I did is E1 level 50. And that's what I decided to do. I went in there and upgraded some of his different resources and skill level. And then I was able to use my recruit voucher on him at a higher level, which was really nice to be able to see that they have that and not just like kind of stuck where he was at initially. Other than that, I thought it was a lot of fun to be able to choose like different elements of your teams and stuff like that, and kind of work with different units that maybe you're not too familiar with, and somebody who maybe you want to branch out to in the future, whether it's like E1s or E2s and stuff like that, that you would like to build based on the fact that you were playing an IS2. I really felt that they had a really good system of just doing the recruitments, kind of giving you what it looked like for some different stages and stuff like that, and made you really think about how to use the operators that you had at your disposal. And I think that was just one of the best things that they could have done with the given mode. So I actually did a part where you could like gamble your Orgenium ingots, which is like the green currency that you use in the shop. And it was really fun to be able to see that like I was kind of gambling it away with the hopes of getting some kind of like really cool reward and stuff like that. And I ended up gambling 2 at a time. And I think I did it about 4 times. So I ended up spending like 8 ingots just to get 1 back. And it was kind of funny to see that that was actually like a possibility to have some sort of interaction like that. Plus, uncovering the different clues and different collectibles, I think is really fun to be able to see like how the story kind of comes together versus having it just be like a straightforward story. It's really fun to be kind of immersed in it, feel like you're kind of going through it, and it feels like you're a little bit more part of the story because of some of the ways that you're playing. Now, I did end up getting to like the end of my chapter, or the end of my road, I guess you kind of call it, for the path that I took in. Like I said earlier, there's like 3 paths that people were saying in chat were available, and I ended up getting one of them. Now, I was on easy, so that's probably why I was able to get to the end of it. However, even on easy, that boss stage, I gotta say, there was so much stuff happening that I was like, oh my god, I couldn't even imagine what this would be like on normal. And I thought it was so much fun just to see like some different things that I was able to do, and just be able to see just what the monstrosity of stuff was at the very end. It makes me really excited to go back in for more and eventually get to that point again, because obviously whenever you die, which I unfortunately did, you end up getting reset. That's kind of how roguelikes work, which was really fun to be able to see like kind of the progress that I made. And it even does like this kind of little credit scene, I guess, where you go through what you did and how many units you use and all the different things. It's really cool to be able to see that it's keeping track of all the different moves you make, which makes them a little bit more meaningful in my opinion. Plus you have kind of the, I guess, future stuff that you can spend currency on that kind of gives you a little bit of a permanent buff that you're able to kind of go into more and more plays and be a little bit further along, I guess, essentially, if you want to call it that. So overall, the impressions are very, very good for this one. I can see why a lot of people love it. I can see why a lot of people beg for it to be in a permanent stage. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this one. Are you really hyped? Are you super excited that it's here? Let me know. I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.